the same as the Gemara, the commentary? Is it a commentary?
Well, the Gemara is a collection of teachings from a specific group of sages going back like 2,000 years ago or more, or about or around. I don't know. These what we're studying Rashi definitely is way after the Gemara, the Talmud. The text itself, the Megillat Esther that we're studying, the verses, those are part of the Tanakh, and I think, right? I think they're part of the Tanakh, or they're not part of the Tanakh. Megillat Esther, it is part of the
Yeah,
Tanakh. It is.
yeah, yes, it is. Okay, well, thank you for clarifying. I'm sorry I interrupted.
No worries. But it's interesting. It's part of the Tanakh. I'm not wrong in saying that, right?
No, you're right, absolutely right.
So where is it? It's in the Ksuvim, or it's not in the Torah, right? It's not in the five books of Moses. It's not in the prophets, right? But it's
No.
in the third part, I think.
Yeah, it isn't those for yeah, it's there are different sections. You know how it works. There's the laws. The first aren't the first five books the laws, and then the prophets or something, and then something else.
So
I
it's
don't
in
know. Go
something
go
else.
ahead. I don't want to take up time asking questions.
No, because I want to know too, but it's in the something else. It's in the Ksuvim in Hebrew, Ketuvim or Ksuvim, scriptures. Like I think you would translate it. I've seen a different English translation, but I don't know. But it would probably be in there, probably. But anyways, all right, full steam ahead. Like whoever said, feel free to put in whatever you want. I'm gonna read the Hebrew on verse one, then the English on verse one, and then the commentary in Hebrew and in English on verse one. Okay, and you should all be able to follow along. If you don't know Hebrew, that's fine, but at least you'll be able to follow along with the English. I think. Wait. Uh. Okay. Melanie, how's your Hebrew? You know the Hebrew letters?
Hardly.
Would you be if I read it, you can follow along in the Hebrew or no?
Oh yeah, yeah, because it's in both.
But do you like
No,
would you
no,
know?
like if I were to read it, no.
But if I read
Um,
it, can you follow along and know which words I'm reading? Do you know like you're able to? Do you know how to read the Hebrew and follow along if I read it?
no,
Okay, we're gonna
no.
get you there. We're gonna get you there. I'm just curious where you're holding
Good.
right now. Jennifer, how about you? Do you have Hebrew reading skills on your own?
No, I don't. But I
Okay,
know
cool.
you read it right to left.
Yes. Fine. We're gonna get you there.
Okay.
We're gonna figure out how to teach everyone Hebrew basics. We're gonna do that, like, because that's very important. But for now, I guess we'll study mainly in English then. I'll read it in Hebrew just because it's like a highlight to bring down. But
That's great.
yeah.
That's great.
Okay, cool. Kim, you read in Hebrew, right?
Yeah, I can follow along.
Okay, and Leora,
I
how's your
wouldn't I
Hebrew?
wouldn't say I would read out loud in front of a group at this point, but I can definitely follow along.
Good. That's good to know that you can read along. And what about you, Leora? How's your Hebrew? Okay, I don't know if Leora is with us or what, but I don't know about her Hebrew. But my wife also, I'm not sure if she's I hope she's was just muted. I hope she's there and hears me. But her Hebrew's at least as good as mine, maybe better. And she's done the schooling of like an Orthodox Jewish girl. She knows how to study Torah too. So I asked her to follow along and correct me if I make mistakes. Hopefully she will. Hopefully she's here. She's in Israel. I'm in Florida, so trying to make this work. All right, I'm gonna start from verse one up on top, and then I'm gonna go down to the commentary. Verse one in Hebrew, or whatever language this is written in, and I say that because sometimes the biblical texts are written in Aramaic, the sister language, which Zohar, the esoteric works, are written in. Kind of like the feminine to the masculine, you know. Anyways, Vayihi bimei Achashverosh, hu Achashverosh hamolech mehodu v'ad kush sheva v'esrim umea medina. It happened in the days of Achashverosh, that Achashverosh, who reigned over 127 provinces or countries, from India to Nubia, okay, Hodu to Kush. This is the first verse, okay? I want to read it again and just translate it myself without reading their English. Translate it how I would translate it, just looking at it. as Yoel translates it. And it was in the days of Achashverosh. He is Achashverosh that is king from Hodu until Cush, 7 and 20 and 100 countries. Okay? That's how it's like literally word for word, I think. Now if we go to the bottom, if you go to the bottom and you see what I see, you see the commentary of Rashi. Okay, so what does Rashi have to say on this first verse of the book of Esther, which the book of Esther we're going to read in every synagogue in every place around the world. It doesn't matter where you are. Anywhere where there's a synagogue, anywhere where there's a Jew, on Saturday night and again on Sunday morning, they're going to read from the book of Esther. They're going to read the whole book of Esther. So what's going on? What are they reading? That's what we're reading right now. We just want to look at it and study it and see what it is. What's that light that they're trying to bring down on that day? So what does Rashi have to say on this first verse? Vayibi me'achashverosh. And it was in the days of Achashverosh. It was in the days of Achashverosh, right? Melech Paras Haya. He was the king of Persia. Shemalach Tachas Koresh. He reigned in place of Koresh. Lasaif Shivim Shana. At the end of 70 years. Shel Golis Bavel, of the Babylonian exile. Huh? Yeah, so he was the king of Persia who reigned in place of Koresh at the end of the 70 years of the Babylonian exile. I don't even know what all that means, but cool. Hu Achashverosh. He was the Achashverosh, right? Everyone's with me? Everyone see how it goes to the second piece in Rashi now? Everyone gets how Sefario works?
Yes.
Cool. If good. If anyone is at any point confused and you can't figure out how it's working, let me know. Who did I lose? Alice? Melanie? All right, she can join the call again from the messenger. All right. So Hu Achashverosh. One second, I want to see if I can get Melanie back in. How do I do that? Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Is that you, Melanie?
well,
Did you just come back?
yes, I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry.
No worries. Okay, cool. All right, so let's write the second piece of Rashi commentary on verse 1. We read the first one where he said he was the king of Persia who reigned in place of Korash at the end of the 70 years of
I heard it.
Babylonian exile. All right. The second part of
Yeah.
Rashi, he says, Hu Achashverosh, hu v'rishoy mitechilasai v'atzaifai. What does it mean he was the Achashverosh? What is the Bible? What is Hashem? What is the divine light? What is it coming to teach us and expound upon? He was equally wicked from beginning to end. Because we said, Vayhi me Achashverosh, hu Achashverosh. And it was in the days of Achashverosh. He is Achashverosh, or he was Achashverosh. Like, Vayhi me Achashverosh. And it was in the days of Achashverosh. And then it repeats, hu Achashverosh. He is Achashverosh. Or that Achashverosh. It specifies Achashverosh twice. So what's that specification? So Rashi is explaining according to the way of the sages. It's him in his wickedness from beginning until end. Okay, which is interesting to me because I know from what I shared in the group that PDF. Actually, I don't know if it was from that PDF or if it was from a different book that I was reading. It was either in the PDF or a different book that I have in front of me that I was reading. But one of them talks about how every time it's mentioned King Achashverosh, it's really an illusion, a mystical illusion to Hashem. It's actually a pretty well-known Hasidic or Kabbalistic concept. Anyway, so Hu Achashverosh, Hu V'risha min Tchilas Aviat Seifai. He was Achashverosh, he was equally wicked from beginning to end. Hamolech, who reigned. Shemolach me'atzmai v'loi haya mizera hamalucha. What does it mean he reigned? He was ruled over, he was king. Hamolech, the Molech. Molech is like Melech, king. Mem, Lamed, Chaf. Who reigned? He reigned on his own and was not of royal seed. Shemalach me'atzmoi v'lo haya mizera hamelucha. He was malach, malchut. He made the malchut from himself. Etzem is self or bones, like atzmut. From himself. V'lo haya mizera hamelucha. And he was not from the seed of royalty. Mehodu v'ad kush, the gomer. The gomer means etc. Hamolech hamea v'esrim v'sheva medinos. He ruled over 127 countries, or they say provinces, I'm saying country. You have in brackets with the same authority. K'moi shemalach mehaidu v'ad kosh sha'imdim zeh etzel zeh. He ruled over these 127 provinces just as he reigned, with the same authority as he reigned from Hodu to Kush, which are situated alongside of one another. V'chein, and similarly, ki hu roide b'chol ever hanohar mitifsach v'ad Aza. For he ruled over, this is, I guess, a similar verse or something. For he ruled over the entire area beyond the river, which they have in brackets is Euphrates River, from Tifsach to Gaza. How does we have Gaza? Aza. Wow, they translate Aza as Gaza. Okay, that's interesting coming up Gaza with all that's going on in the world now.
Absolutely.
How weird is that? How random is that? That like we're heading into Purim, we've opened up a book to read, and the location is called one of the locations like that God is bringing down to talk to us about. It just happens to be translated into English as Gaza.
And I never noticed that before this year. Like I really never noticed that before.
Me neither. I never did. I never knew that. Maybe it's even talking about the same place. I don't know if Aza is Aza. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
either.
It's a phenomena.
That's pretty wild. It's definitely a God winking at us, when the sky opens and there's a wink.
Totally.
Anyways, so the 127 countries he ruled over is an illusion I saw written, and also it's quite famous. It's a midrash, I think, somewhere. 127. Who in the Bible lived 127 years? There was a woman who lived 127 years. She was the wife of Abraham. Sarah lived 127 years. And also there in the Bible, I think when it counts her years, it counts it like this verse. It doesn't say 127. It says like 7 and 100 and like that's how the Bible does it. It's like it doesn't say 127. It says 7 and 20 and 100 like that. Something like that. So you have the same 127 years that Sarah lived, and you have the same 127 countries that her granddaughter is going to rule over through marrying Achashverosh, Queen Esther. This book is called Esther after the Queen Esther, who is the wife of Mordechai, but then becomes the wife of King Achashverosh. Achashverosh is the bad guy in the story, but he's also an allusion to the king. So the bad guy in the story, like what you see in the world, the bad guy in the story is really the king and Hashem. Can we all see that? Like we see a bad stuff going on in the world, and we call that King Achashverosh, right? That's the bad guy in the story. That's the bad stuff in our story. But on a mystical level, we know that the truth is it's really Hashem himself in an aspect of a hiddenness, a double hiddenness, where we don't even know that it's hidden. So we don't even know that we're supposed to be looking for something and we don't know what to look for. Right? Because Rabbi Nachman talks about it and others talk about it. I think it's Torah 56. Someone shared with me this morning or last night, as well as the previous Torah before that. It's all on my Facebook if you're all following along, but I should share it publicly maybe. But the idea is Vanoichi Haster Aster Panai is a verse in Hebrew that means on that day, Baimahu, I will hide my face from you. I will surely hide my face from you. And it's a double lashon. It's a double term. You use the same terminology twice. Aster, aster, or something. I will hide. The thing is, what's the double hiding and what's with the word Aster? It's a weird word. It's Esther. It's Esther. That book of Esther that we're reading now for Purim, that we're reading now, Esther, it's the same word as hiding, concealment. So that's what this book was all about. It's all about the Hashem. Who his name is not mentioned once in this book. The name of Hashem, the Yud He and the Vav He, is not mentioned once in this book. But it's contained everywhere. It's contained everywhere. It's all over the story. It's not mentioned once explicitly, but it's everywhere. And that's our life. We have a big, evil, bad story, even including Gaza. You see Gaza, right? I think that's just the sparkle for it. Well, that's all Hashem. Hashem is the Achashverosh. Who's Esther then? If Achashverosh is Hashem, who's Esther? Esther is our soul. Our soul is Queen Esther. I don't know who Mordechai is. Maybe Mordechai is the Torah. We're married. We're married to the Torah, and then we're married to Hashem. Probably that makes more sense. And it's beautiful because
Let the dogs out. Woo, woo.
They're gone
Let
now.
the dogs out.
They're gone now. I closed myself in my bedroom.
Woo.
cool.
That's
Have
an
my
I love that concept, Joel. Thank you.
Yeah, how are we all doing so far? Is it cool?
We
Yes, I
cool.
love every word.
All right, I don't know that I have
What
much more to add. I think this was really good. I think the fact that we were able to get 5 of us on a call with the same resource in front of us, knowing that we're all following along. Well, are we 5 of us? How many of us are we that we know are following? I know that Jennifer and Kim, right? And where's
Miriam?
I lost Melanie.
I'm here.
Oh, you are here?
Can you? Yeah, but everything got messed up when I came back on because it told me to put my camera on, and I didn't want my camera on right now. So
Um,
I bumped myself up unintentionally, and then I came back, but it it prompted me to use my camera rather than my avatar. So now my picture is all black.
huh.
My space is all black. I'm sorry.
I was wondering what was going on because I don't see you in my list of guests, like people that are on. I don't see your name. And then
I'm
suddenly,
here.
since you joined, also, I see instead of seeing myself as a window, I see myself as a corner of a window and the rest is black. So I think somehow you joined with video and then turned off your camera. Oh, what's this?
Oh, I
Who's that?
turned into a llama.
That's Kim, right? That's
Yeah.
super cool. Yo, see, this is way better than Zoom. This is way better than Zoom. Look how many interactions we
I'm
have.
just playing. I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, we
And
could
there
play
isn't
around
a
with
time
everything.
limit like Zoom. You only get so many minutes. I'm sorry, Kim. Go ahead.
No, I'm just like touching the buttons.
You see, you can raise your hand. Look, I raised my hand. You see that?
Yeah. You have to push the 3 dots at the top. Oh, wait.
And then it says, "Are you done speaking?" Lower your hand. I lowered my.
Raise hand. Wait. Okay. What if I do an emoji? Oh, it goes on to my thing. Okay. All right. So we can emoji.
Oh, now I see Melanie.
Yes, I just figured out I needed to click turn off video to get my avatar there.
That's crazy. Okay,
Whoa.
when you use an avatar, my mouth is moving. See with my avatar.
I like yours. How do you do
Ah.
that?
Okay,
That is
but
so
now there's
great.
two. We have 2 camels or whatever we are here. That's cool. That's how we know we're talking because my mouth is moving.
Ah, I see.
No,
Now I also have an avatar, and
but wait,
my mouth is
yeah,
not
that's right.
moving.
Okay, now we have a cowboy.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, see, that's better. We can see who's talking, but there's no names. It's all right
How
though.
do you do that?
Click on the
Uh,
3 dots. Click on
yeah, at
all
the
the
top.
avatars. Go to
Oh,
the 3
oh,
dots and it'll say avatars. Then you can choose.
That's also pretty
Wild.
cool. Wow. Keep in mind, though, even though the people watching on Facebook can't see you, Facebook itself can still see you. Just remember that. Like whoever has access to their data and wants to like find your user profile and all the video calls you made, they'll see everything on your camera. Even if we can't on Facebook, no one can see you. I'm just saying, keep in mind the Facebook people can still see you. when you use
You're
filters.
telling us we're being watched, basically.
We're always being watched.
I know.
I told my wife, like I said, I want you to be on all these calls that we're going to do with Torah classes. You can turn off your video if you want to. You can put in a piece of tape if you want to. You don't have to do anything, but
Yeah.
like just remember, like when you're on a camera phone call, besides the people on the call, the whoever's hosting the call has access to all that information, which includes what they see on the camera. Even if you turn off your camera, if it doesn't matter, it just means it's not streaming, but they can still see it. They can still see what, they can still see you just because it's not on Facebook.com/talk with Yoel. It's still somewhere on Facebook servers, and whoever has access to Facebook servers can see whatever is behind the camera that's connected to a video call.
So are we reading more today, or are we meeting another day?
Uh, I don't know. What do you guys want to do?
Because so you said okay, so you said Esther symbolizes our souls.
Huh? Sorry. What do you say?
You were saying Esther symbolizes our souls, and that Hashem is hidden.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what I've been taught. That's what I know from tradition.
No, that I just wanted to get a grasp on it. So I never viewed it that Esther that way,
Yeah, now we have to look at the
or
whole
the
Purim
book.
story as relating to us. Like, if it's a map and it's telling a story of what's happening to us in our world. So we have like three things defined already. We know Aza. I mean, that's just so obvious. How can you not see that? Like, what was Aza again? I don't even get the reference. It's just a name at this point. But what was it in context of? Because you can't just take a word out of context and be like, oh, look. You know. So we were saying in this is just one verse, but we said Vayihi bimei Achashverosh, and it was in the days of Achashverosh. Who Achashverosh? He is Achashverosh, and we pay attention to the fact that it's doubled. Like you just said, it was in the days of Achashverosh. Why are you saying he is Achashverosh? You just said it was in the days of Achashverosh. Why are you saying who Achashverosh? He is Achashverosh, or it is Achashverosh. You know that, right? So that's big. Pay attention to Hamolech, who rules Mehodu Vyad Kush. These are two countries, Hodu and Kush. Hodu and Kush, two countries. So from the first one to the second one, Mehodu Vyad Kush, two countries. Sheva
Hmm.
ve'esr mumea Medina. This is a number of countries, 127, but I want you to pay attention to how the Bible writes. It's Sheva is 7, ve'esrim and 20, umea and 100, Medina. Medina is a country. They translate here as province, okay, but Medina is country. I don't know what the root is, but they say in Hebrew, in modern Hebrew is totally corrupt and it's not kosher, it's not healthy, it's not, modern Hebrew is a corrupted version of the biblical ancient Hebrew. But still, you can learn a lot from it. So in modern Hebrew, they say Medinat Yisrael, uh, the country of Israel. So Medina is like kind of like a country. I don't, they don't translate it here as country, they translate province. I don't know what province is. Canada has provinces. It's like it means like it's one region, one controlled region, uh, with different parts of it, but it's under one control. So that's what it's trying to say. That Ahasuerus was the sole ruler. He had the sole power. He was the sole power. You feel the one sole power, soul and soul. Sneeze. I thought. I don't know, or smoke something. Yo, how cool is this? From Hodu to Kush. Ugh. All right. How did we get to Gaza from Hodu to Kush? Because in Rashi on Mehodu Vad Kush, from this country Hodu until the second country Kush, it says Mehodu Vad Kush Vigomer Hamolech Al Mea Ve'esrim V'Sheva Medinos. He the ruling or the kingship on 127 Medinot, which are countries, Himo, just as Shemalach, that he ruled, just like he ruled, Mehodu Viad Kush, Sha'imnim Zeh Eitzel Zeh. Just like he ruled from Hodu until Kush,
Okay.
that stood this one next to this one, and he had a very tight control over these two countries that are directly next to each other. He had a control over these wide area of 127 provinces, just like these two that stood right next to each other. He had complete control over them. On all 127, he had this much control, and we learned that from the fact that it says Mehodu v'ad Kush. Why Mehodu v'ad Kush? It sounds like you're trying to say that they're, huh? Okay, let's see if there's more. Yeah, just like he ruled over Hodu and Kush. So you see, Rashi seems to be saying that Hodu and Kush are two countries that are directly next to each other. Where's Hodu and Kush? Because they translate Hodu as India, and Kush,
Oh.
yeah, and Kush, I forgot how they translate Ethiopia. I think India and Ethiopia. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because they refer to Tzipporah as a Cushite woman, and she has dark skin.
So we're saying Kush is Ethiopia and Hodu is India.
Ish, yeah.
Are India and
So
Ethiopia next to each other or no?
Ethiopia is in Africa, and
Yeah.
India is elsewhere.
Yeah.
Let's see, I'm putting it in maps. India to Ethiopia.
27 hours by bicycle.
Okay, listen, back in the day when everything was like territories, like the borders were probably a little bit less defined than they are today. It makes sense that these are two bordering territories where they have them on the map. There's the Arabian Sea separating them, but you could still say that they're connected if you would include. Nah, you would have to include Egypt, Sudan, and you would have to include, in order to say that they're neighbors, you would have to include Egypt and Sudan as part of Ethiopia, and then you would have to count Turk. Sorry, you would have to count. Wow, you'd have to count a lot of countries as part of India. They're not together at all.
Well, the maps changed like the former Czechoslovakia. Um, so he ruled a vast, I mean, just vast. That would be like India, I mean, like China and Russia.
The point here is that he ruled the entire world, the entire world, everything that was
Uh,
known to them. There was one
uh,
one
uh,
one world government.
wow.
That's what everyone's afraid of now.
Yeah.
Well, there was a real one world government, and we have a map of the entire events, and we can try to map it to now. That's what we're doing with Gaza. That's where we were middle of. That's where the thought was. That's how we got from Hodu to Kush, these two countries. So let's get back into the Safari at the end. The last piece that we studied was the Rashi commentary on verse 1. The last piece, it says from Hodu to Kush, etc., who reigned over 127 provinces with the same authority as he reigned from Hodu to Kush, which are situated alongside one another. And now I'm going to continue in Hebrew. V'chein ki hu roide b'chol ever hanahar mitifsach v'ad Aza. And that's where you have the mention of Gaza. It says, and similarly, so Rashi is just bringing in a verse. He's saying, and similarly, we explain, for he ruled over the entire area beyond the river, from Tifsach until Aza. He was Roda. Roda, I'm guessing from the translation, means ruled over. Okay. He ruled over on the entire other side of the river. And which river? They have in brackets Euphrates River. I don't know what Euphrates River, which river that is, but
Doesn't it run through? It's something very symbolic even now. It just dried up, didn't it?
You know, I have no
Uh,
idea.
it's near Egypt, I think. But anyway, yeah, it just dried up. It's drying up.
It
But go
doesn't exist
ahead. I'm
anymore.
sorry.
No, it's amazing. I just Googled it, the Euphrates River, and it shows me it's going from Iraq to India, but it doesn't show it coming to Israel. But if the Euphrates River is where the border is, I mean, it says it's a 45-day walk from here. Like, is that the borders? Where's the border? That shows me it's like deep in Syria, or maybe that river extends somehow to the land of Israel, or what? Because the Euphrates River I have showing me, I'll put it in the group chat, but I'll have you where I'll show you what I see. It shows me that it's like literally from Syria or yeah, to India. Hey, that's cool. How did we get in?